Hello, everybody. Welcome to Level Up Circle, Level Up Academy. We're all in the same Level Up Circle magazine. Everything is all about level up. And I am so grateful today because I am actually here with my friend Jenny. She has been an amazing friend, really, for about a year and a half now. I've been watching her. I've been making sure that I check up on her once in a while, right? We lost touch for a little bit there. And really, I have followed her on LinkedIn for a while and basically kind of see what Jenny is doing for her community. And she is nothing short than a miracle, right? Her pain, her adversity, is what makes her unique, but doesn't stop her from helping others. She literally is super resilient and she turns her pain into purpose. So today we're going to check out Jenny's story and really get deep on what she does for our community and how can we help her, right? How can we help Jenny stay resilient, stay in the what? In the circle of friends that she needs when she needs to elevate her messages, right? Nothing in life is permanent. And so we are here to help her kind of see, hey, we're here for you. We're going to help you out and see what we can do for you. All right. So let's go ahead and also go through my sponsorship. In this anthology, guys, Beyond Boundaries, right? We are still accepting all of your amazing supports. We continue to grow trees and plant trees and provide jobs to all of other people all over the world. Right now, we have a Madagascar 27 trees. Susanna and I are starting the Honduras trees. We're going to go around. This actually helps us, right, with the United Nations goals. Goal number 4, 10, 11, 13, and 15. So not only are you reading other people's messages and inspirational thoughts, but also creating that um, amazing conclusion of, hey, what can we do? We don't have that much money. We don't have any resources. Guess what? If you don't want to have any to do with financial, it's okay. You can support through sharing, through engaging, and we're going to go through this. Then my next one that I want to make sure that you guys know is that we do have a podcast. I'm gonna have a podcast Friday. It's gonna have a release, and we're gonna talk about the anthology that's upcoming for us. Okay, this anthology is gonna be what? Making sure that we can elevate stories about people who are going against the grain, finding that belonging, even though the world is resisting us, right? When we try to find belonging. So we're also looking for sponsors. Anyone who wants to sponsor or get a sponsorship for your company, let me know. I'll be happy to put it in. We have press releases. So, our press release actually is in all industry and it is syndicated. So, what that means is that you go on between 200 to 1500 links, and it's good for your exposure, for your brand, and obviously for your authority as well. Okay. Let's see. We are also looking for people who are book authors that's launching their book. We also are looking for people who are not just book authors, but also people who are launching their product or services. We can help you out that way as well. So thank you so much for being here. Now, speaking of magazine, I'm going to show you the magazine that we have for Level Up. I'm going to have one in December, and the December one is going to be top 10, right? Top 10 movers and shakers out there, whether it is innovation on technology or healthcare or coaching practices that you're doing. we're looking for those top 10 people to do for 2025, someone to look out for 2025. And I'll show you the magazine today. So I love this. Our book Beyond Boundaries actually went to a book signing. So it's going to be so amazing to see everybody. So, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here. HOB, we're always looking for ambassador for my brother Mike. So, let me know if you're interested. I can literally hook you up, but you have to be in the hounds of business for at least 3 months, and you're consistently supporting myself or Mike, and also know, up for engagement. Are you a champion for other people, right? And then 450 inspirational connections. We're actually going to do this next year again. So we're going to see you. It's going to open up in June and July. All right. This is the copy or cover of our third magazine. And I'll show you the people who are in it actually. So it'll be amazing. So today, I also want to invite you, okay, on our upcoming anthology. This is called Against the Grain, Finding Belonging in a World of Resistance, right? You're probably wondering, CJ, why are you wearing a crown? I just have to own it, right? Publicity queen, it's not a queen without a tiara. So I'm putting that up for sure. And that is how it works, right? So hopefully you guys are able to come and able to be support us. And it's going to be amazing. We're going to make an announcement of who our people are in this endeavor. This is our last book for the year. And then we're going to do one again in March. So hopefully we'll see you. And the lead on this project is none other than my sister, Susanna Dawn, right? She is the lead on this project. We're going to support her. Her amazing thoughts on belonging is what got us here today when it comes to this book. And she actually created this book cover. I just edited a little bit. She did. She created this book cover. She did an amazing design, and I put together. It's collaboration over competition. It's a beautiful thing when you see two people really collaborate and not expect anything less or more. There is no jealousy. There is no like, I'm better than you, you're better than me. There's no feeling of that, which is great. And that's why I want to continue the conversation this Sunday too about when to people please and when not to people please. This Sunday, we're going to probably talk about a topic about belonging, right? When do you actually feel that you belong? And what do you do when you feel like you like this person, you like this friend, but this friend doesn't feel like they are for you anymore? Do you hang on to them because you think you're going to get value from them, or do you let them go? And then when you get let go of friendship, how do you react, right? I say take your grace, take the high road, and don't bother. If you get um, unfollowed by someone, I had someone that I unfollowed and I got like a nasty DM. I think you need to take a high road. So just let it go, right? And move on, because there's so many people who are for you. You need to find the people who are for you, not against you, right? So we're going to see Jenny and we're going to see her story. Are you guys ready? I hope you are. There's something definitely is wrong because I feel like I'm slow to move in this computer. And YouTube, thank you so much for being here. We have about 855 people already here waiting for Jenny to come. Jenny had a little bit of audio, so hopefully we can we can invite her in and we can hear her beautiful self. Are you guys ready? I hope so. Let me see if I can have a drum roll for Jenny, and then we'll go from there.
Sure.
Jenny coming up? All right. I don't know what's happening. There she
There.
is.
Yeah. Hear me?
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
Dr. Leland, how are you?
Good.
Hear
I'm
me?
so happy that you're here. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
That's good. Yeah. Thank you. We're back today. No, right. Little audio problems, but it's been a while since I've been on here. Anyway, look what I
I'm
have.
so glad you're here. I'm super
Oh, yeah.
happy. Oh, I love the tiara.
So, cold. Yeah.
I'm loving it. You are definitely. Um, I want to know actually, you know, who is Jenny Gold? So my first question usually is about going back, think back 20 years ago. What are some of the significant changes in your life that got you here where you are today?
Well, I'd say it's probably 30 years ago. Probably 30 years. Is that okay? 20 years
Sure.
ago, I was actually 20 years ago, I was not in a wheelchair. I was not using a walker. I was not using a cane or anything like that. I had Lyme disease, but it wasn't as bad as it is now. So that's kind of my 20 years ago. But I was working full time in corporate America, and my life was quite a bit different. Did you just?
That's
Sorry, I thought you. Um, I can't think of a word right now. That's why sometimes I do not have great memories. So if I repeat myself or I'm not speaking as well as I should be, it's because of what's going on with me right now.
no worries. Listen, I love elevating people's
Yeah.
story in a
Yes.
way that is inspirational, right?
Mhm.
I know this just happened to you 3 years ago, and before that, you said you were worked in corporate America. What
Yes.
actually got you to this stage of your life?
Actually, I moved back to Colorado, and I thought everything would be fine with Lyme disease and all the other autoimmune diseases that I have. But what's happened is that it didn't kind of go as well as I thought it would go. So my doctors that I have in California told me not to move back to Colorado because of lack of oxygen and altitude. I did it anyway because I thought I'm Jenny Gold, I can do anything. Well, things have changed. CKT came into the issue right now, and so I'm kind of dealing with that right now. So my voice has been compromised because of C19. Let's say it that way, C19. So it happened about a year ago. So that's what's happened to me in the last. I got here in 2009. This is when I moved back to Colorado, and this didn't happen to my voice until about a year ago. So I was
I know
not.
life has been challenging, right? Life has been challenging for you living with this disease. But
Yes.
I see you. I see you even on my TikTok when I do crazy makeup.
You were doing that this
uh,
morning.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm like,
um,
well, I'm trying to get ready, and you're on TikTok and selling some makeup or something or skincare.
yeah. No, I was on TikTok
Yeah.
last night. I was
Yeah.
actually selling. I have companies that
Mhm.
um, gives me free stuff and want me to sell their products. So I do that as my sponsor. So I do that on TikTok on have fun. Sometimes I
Yeah.
do zombie makeup. And so,
That's
those are the
Halloween.
things that I do, right? Like just have fun.
Yeah.
But when did you first notice symptoms of Lyme disease? Like how were you diagnosed? Is there a diagnosis on these things?
There is, but it's not really. It's kind of interesting because the government doesn't really recognize it. So it took a long time for me. It took 2 years for me to get diagnosed with Lyme disease. They thought maybe I had MS. They thought maybe I had this or that. So there's a lot of different illnesses that people are diagnosed with other than Lyme disease. Now, a lot more people are getting diagnosed with Lyme disease. It's interesting. It was a pandemic years ago, but our government, other governments wouldn't say that was true. And the thing is, that was a pandemic years ago, like probably 30 years ago. It's in every single country, every single state or whatever country you're in, province, whatever. It's every single one. So, hi, Susanna. I see
Yeah, I
Susanna,
know. I know.
right?
It's just like, yeah, Mike is here, Susanna is
Yeah,
here. So yeah. No,
yeah,
I wanted to because I know so when I used to live in Virginia, one of my daughter was playing in the grass and she got a tick. Like she
yes,
got a tick bite in her back.
yeah,
And they say you cannot remove it by hand. You have to remove it with certain things, or if you remove
yeah,
it by hand, make sure that you remove the whole thing, right?
yeah.
But
Head,
I
head
had a
is the
friend,
worm.
yeah, I had a friend who actually suffered from Lyme disease, and she said that her memory loss was just horrible,
Yes.
and it affects your nervous systems. And I was like, I was so scared, so I took my daughter right away to the emergency room.
Mhm.
And in Virginia, you don't have waiting periods in the
Yeah,
emergency room. Literally,
right,
you come in and you're done, right? Like here in California, unless you're bleeding or you're having a heart attack symptoms and you can't
yes,
breathe,
right,
you wait 6 hours. You have to wait 6 hours,
right.
literally, right?
Mhm.
So that's why we go to urgent care. Luckily, she didn't have anything, but for months we had to watch it, right? So I
Mhm.
wanted to more of like an informational, like, have you experienced like characteristic bullseye rash and then it just kind of go from there? Or is there a different way that you can get Lyme disease from getting ticks? Or is it just the only way that you can get them?
What's interesting is that I didn't have the bullseye rash, but only like 10% of the people, I believe, that actually get bit by the tick have the bullseye rash. They're wondering though if it kind of was bit by my ear. Um, by the way, if you don't understand me, just let me know. So, I've been buying this ear in Mexico, so I know that for sure. Now, they have all of a sudden my head got really hot up here. So every time it starts to come back, because I have it's chronic now in me. That's telltale sign that I still have it from one of the co-infections that I could have also. So so that's kind of what happens. That was the evidence with me. But so I probably had the bullseye rush, but we didn't know at the time. So like right now, my head's pretty hot right now, and I know I'm having relapse right now. So on top of everything else, actually, I didn't know about the co-infections at the time when I was diagnosed. It took 3 years for me to get diagnosed, probably, probably. So people, the doctors test you for anything from Alzheimer's to dementia to lupus to ALS. I have a doctor in Colorado Springs that was diagnosed with ALS, but he actually had Lyme disease. And it's a big Lyme doctor, but he was trying to tell people, his doctors, cut it off subject, but he's trying to tell the doctors to treat him with antibiotics, but he couldn't even speak at the time. They did, and all of a sudden his voice came back and actually started to get better. Now he has long term side effects now, but that's one side effect, one example of that. Anyway, going back to what we were talking about. So I think it just takes a long time for them to actually diagnose people correctly. They're starting to it's very funny. Hi, Matt. Is that so? I guess the thing I think that I need to talk about or explain to people is that it's not that easy to diagnose. So, and they didn't have blood tests for it at the time. They only had urine tests. So, actually, and hi, don't be playing with a crown. So what they had me do is leave 3 urine samples, right, and put them in the freezer. They had to stay frozen. Doctors had to actually take it back frozen, send it to California, and the big place where I used to go in California. They actually had the big test now, and that's when they started testing me. And it took like 6 times of me sending in urine. The doctor said it. All of a sudden, it came back positive. But they knew when they had me fill out the 25 through its form in like 20 or 25 symptoms. So he started me on antibiotics right away. And my ear right here, it broke out in blisters. The one where I get bit by the ear, by the tick, totally broke out in blisters. And every single symptom that I had started coming out. my arms started going numb, my fingers were going numb, like all this stuff started happening. Said, and she has Lyme disease for sure. My mom was like, every single thing that's happened to her, like the last 3 years, is coming out right now. That's what happened. I wish I'd be more succinct. Sorry. And did those things happen to your daughter at all?
No, so she got lucky. This was when she was probably 5 or 6. We
Yeah.
got it right away, so it's not like they injected probably like ASAP, because the thing when we pull it, there was no injection yet. It was just kind of latched on. So
Yeah.
I got lucky for that. But my friend, who was a mother of our kid, she works for I believe she was an accountant or a lawyer, one of those, and she
Yes.
had to quit her job because she can't think straight. And I'm so sad that we don't use that as something that we need to have more research. Now, I wanted to ask you, have you tried looking into stem cells and
Yeah.
see if there's anything they can do to get your cognitive back, to get your
Yes.
functions back? Because I'm sure this is hard living for you.
Yes.
And every time I talk to you, you're like, I can't. I'm changing, caregiver, and it's hard to find one that you really
Right.
like, that listens to you. They don't
Right.
understand how you feel or anything, right? You're trying to communicate,
Right.
but sometimes it's frustrating. Like my grandmother, she's on bed rest. She's on hospice and stuff, but she's get frustrated because she can't communicate, well. And so she's like, I need
Right.
another caregiver.
Right.
And I felt like there's got to be somebody out there that's going to cure something, right? Have you done stem cells or look into it?
I, I've looked into it. Actually, I have a GoFundMe, and actually, one of the things from my GoFundMe is that it's actually going to go down to Arizona and stem cells. But they told me to go to Florida for stem cells anyway. I didn't go there because the doctors here in Colorado, believe it or not, they're very conservative, and they said we have a patient that did stem cells. And what they do is they go through your nose, they go through your blood-brain barrier, and they inject it up there. My daughter here said, "Oh, he lost his eyesight." And all of a sudden you go, "Oh my God, I don't want to do that because I already have problems with my eyes from this." So I'm thinking, now what am I going to do? Like, what should I do? And um, so I've heard about the stem cells. I've looked into it again. It's very expensive, and you have to have something with you when you go to the different states to get this stuff done. I just don't have that. I don't have that um, type of what's the word? And then you don't have people that want to take a month or two off to be able to be in another state or another country to do that. I have looked into a bunch of different things in different countries, and they're doing it there, but in the United States, they don't really like to do that because it's not legal. Then they go to
Right.
Mexico or they go to Costa Rica, they go over to Europe.
So one of my uncle have ataxia. Basically, you can't walk. Sometimes you can't talk. It
Yes.
just kind of freezes you.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to China. He actually came here in the U.S. and the doctor here in the U.S. told him they can't do nothing for it. So he got frustrated and he went to China, got stem cells,
Mm-hmm.
and he lived for the like 10 years of his life perfectly.
Right.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I suffer from debilitating migraines. People will
Right.
say, "Oh, I have migraines," right? Mine is to the point where I would vomit like sometimes 19 times a day, and I would suffer 22 days out of 30 days of migraine, um, to the point where I can't function. So I'm taking meds now, but at that time, there's actually two that my husband researched. I actually didn't research it, my husband did. There's one in Panama. So Mel
Mm-hmm.
Gibson's dad couldn't walk at
Mm-hmm.
all. They
Yeah.
went to go use a wheelchair on
Mm-hmm.
him to the
Yeah.
airport. When he
Mm-hmm.
went to Panama, they did a stem cell on him and he came back perfectly fine. Like he could walk and everything like almost instantly. It did take 3 days. And then another one, there's one, it's in Germany, and
Yeah.
you have to have a doctor's
Yeah.
like a referral to go, and then
Mm-hmm.
you pay about 10 grand and then you can go, right? So
Yeah.
there's a way, but you're right, it's a lot of
Yeah.
money. It's a
Yeah.
lot of money to do.
Yeah.
So I would love to see where your GoFundMe is so that we can help you
Thank
in
you.
terms of
Thank
that.
you.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is something that I'm always in awe of you. Can you share a time in, oh, this is not the one, this one. How do you cope with emotional and mental health challenge related to living with this disease?
Actually, that's a very good question because, and don't make me cry. Don't not make me cry. If you watch my podcast from podcast podcast, Joe goes, when she didn't start to cry, like when she crying, interviewing all these people that are autoimmune diseases. That's why I had my podcast. So I interview all these people. And it's terrible because sometimes, even though I didn't have what they had and some of the symptoms that they had of Lyme disease, sorry, um, some of the symptoms they had with Lyme disease. So, and all of a sudden I'd be really sad. So all of a sudden I'd start to cry because I'm like, all right, interview people that have Lyme disease, they were getting better. But all of a sudden they come back and they're like, I'm not getting better now. So it's hard because I knew these people, some of them close friends, some of them weren't, I didn't even know them. But all of a sudden they'd be better. Like even somebody like Jen Russman who has MS, her MS is totally gone. For the most part, it's totally gone. She went through naturopath route. She got off of all the pharmaceutical medicines, but they've tried that. Hopefully that will work for me. But right now, because of my throat and everything, I'm not sure. Probably this whole throat thing probably happened because they got an IV and a year ago. And that was the hospital with COVID. I didn't have anything. I didn't have COVID vaccines or anything. That could be why this happened to me. If you look at Mayo Clinic, they actually did a study of the vocal cords, vocal box or something with Lyme disease. They said it's exactly what's going on with my voice right now. Is there in Colorado? They don't believe that, and that's from Mayo Clinic. I know, I'm going here and there. Sorry, but I'm going back to mental health challenges. I cried last night because I didn't think I was ready to come on today. I absolutely did because I can't remember. I could not remember things. I remember I passed if I'm as brought to me by a really bad, I said, short long term memory. I drop out of school, college for a year. And it was 2.5 student in college. My parents were like, what's going on with you? Actually, after a year of IVs for Lyme disease, it's 4.0. My dad was like, why did you do that earlier? I'm like, I know what's wrong with me. They have me read something like a page in a book. I couldn't even tell them what it was about. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Well,
that's right. That's the emotional and mental part. You're like, why am I like that?
yeah, sometimes I think certain people's makeup, the genetics is
Yeah.
different than most people. And I feel like my camera is stuck, but I'm just gonna let it go.
You are too. It's
Yeah,
okay.
so long as you could hear me. So, what
Well,
treatments have you undergone, and how effective have they been in managing your symptoms?
so I was saying, my original doctor, was taken down by state because these Lyme disease doctors usually take down some, no, so in the state or NHA, whatever it's called, puts them down and says, you're with that doctor, he does too much. He put me on all these antibiotics, but they said you're not getting better fast enough, so he put me on IVs. I was on two different IVs, antibiotics, two antibiotic IVs. That was pretty hard in my system. But I got better. Like I said, in college, I went back to college and I'm fine. Then I had 5 internships in college and ended up in LA. And from there, I came to California or Colorado, went back to California, came back to Colorado, went back to California, came back to Colorado. So I've been here and there and here and there. But sometimes it has a lot to do with uh, the weather. I do much better in California. It was better for me there. Here, it's not so great. Um, so, by the way, caregivers, going back to that, I don't really understand the managing of the symptoms because I have so many different caregivers there for these different companies. That's just one day. They said like 3 different ones. So,
So,
that's it.
is there like, okay, is there, do you need a specialist to take care of daily activities for you in terms of like, hey, you got to take this meds and you got to do this activity and you have to do this speech therapy or that physical therapy? How's like life with Jenny Gold on a daily?
It kind of sucks, to be honest with you. It's not great because I can't drive anymore. And I was driving with hand controls in my car. Probably that started about 7 years ago. But then after C19 hit, I didn't want to pay my car anymore and pay for insurance and stuff like that. So that's why I'm not driving anymore. So it's very difficult for me to go around by myself. By the way, if I speak too fast, let me know because I started speaking faster after I got COVID twice. I got COVID twice. Yes. All of a sudden, I'm like, is that for me to slow down? Because
No, that's hard. I love you, Jenny. It's all good. I can understand you.
because a lot of people they can't, and that's why the caregivers get a little frustrated with me because they're like, she talks too fast. I have a lot of caregivers that don't even speak English. I'm like, very spoke English, maybe you understand me, but you really don't know. No, Chi out of Ethiopia.
Oh, Titi is my dog's name.
Yeah.
I love that name.
Hi, puppy. I could hear you earlier.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's kind of, I know I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. And I was going to say, and we were talking about the treatments and everything. I was going to integrative health practitioners here, and also in California. That's the hard part because my Lyme is neuro, so they keep saying, hey, ADHD. I don't have ADHD, but
I do.
I know you do. Talk about it all the time.
I do.
I talk about it all the time. I'm like, okay, come back to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was doing a lot of non-pharmaceutical drugs because of my integrated health doctors, and that was helping. But when C19 hit, in Colorado especially, our governor said, no more integrated health doctors. You cannot see chiropractors. You cannot see this, that, this is pharmaceutical. You cannot see your doctors. I've seen doctors that were doctors to me, but I couldn't see them. And that's when everything started going downhill. And that's when I got COVID. I was fine for like 3 years.
Yeah.
I never got any better.
Oh, wow. That definitely, I think basically said that Colorado, with can you explain what C19 is? What is that?
COVID.
Oh, it's just COVID for you guys. Now, you already
that's what they call it around the world. They call it C19 or COVID, whatever.
I see. Yeah. Now, if you already have Lyme disease plus COVID, to me that's like a double negative. I would just.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I've had it twice now.
No, I have it twice as well, but I don't want it. I lost my sense of smell.
Okay. Not like that. Sorry.
That's all right. What has been your biggest source of strength during your journey with this Lyme disease?
My parents are both gone now, but my parents are alive. They're probably my parents. They understood what was going on. They did a lot of research on this, as I did too. By the way, doing research in the 80s, it's very difficult because there's quote unquote there's no internet back then. So that was tough because I tried to do everything through books and things like that, and through magazines. But that was probably the hardest part. But I don't know. My strengths is, I say, I have, I had my podcast about podcasts. But the joke was I had a caregiver, not caregiver, and he just left. Actually, he was having me get ready. So having people like that around me, it helps me a lot. That's my strength right there. Also, believe it or not, LinkedIn has been a big lifesaver for me. It really has, because I learned how to go live during March of 2020. I met a lot of people like yourself through LinkedIn. So I really feel like my family is pretty much through LinkedIn. Now I feel that way. Yay. Yes. Like, hey, give me a hug.
Celebrate, right?
That's on. Yeah.
I love that. And you're right. LinkedIn is actually I feel like LinkedIn is a two-face. Right? Like
I like
there's
Facebook.
two-face, right? Like
Yeah.
not the makeup, guys, not the makeup. I have two-face makeup, but the people, some people you meet like at the very beginning is really super hot, like
Yeah.
heavy and calming, whatever. And then something happened in between, and then they're like your best enemy ever, and
Yeah.
they follow
Yeah.
you just to destroy you. Like,
Yeah.
get a life, right? Like, seriously.
Yeah. All right.
But you also meet people like you who's inspirational, who's amazing, who lives life like, don't give me any more crap. I'm already in suffering right now, please. Right? So
Yeah.
I love that. I love to focus on those people who are inspirational, who continues to inspire other people despite of your own like life issues and adversities, right? It's a blessing to actually like, I feel such an honor to even like talk to you in live. I mean, we've been friends for a while now, really, on LinkedIn, and I really haven't had a chance
Right.
to put you on live. Life has just been so busy.
Yes.
You almost got actually on this book, but I think you were changing caregivers at that time. This one
Yeah.
right here.
Yes, I wanted to be in that book so bad. By the way, I love the cover.
Yeah,
You,
I made
you
that cover.
yeah, I know you did. I loved it. I was like, I have to be in that book. It was very hard though, because I have a hard time typing now. So
Yeah.
reading the book and everything. And actually, I should talk to you about this later. I'll talk to you about that too. I tried to like speak into to a microphone and have it dictated everything, but it's hard for them to understand me. Even if you guys saw things I like leave message for people, totally not what I said. So that's why it's a little bit difficult. Yeah,
Well, okay. So there's this thing called Plod right
mhm,
here.
yeah,
Little tiny thing. It's on Amazon.
yeah,
And I actually created a YouTube video as soon as I got it. Again, it was my husband's idea. He literally is like, "Hey, have you seen this?" I was like, "What does it do?" Because he likes toys.
yeah,
And when you talk about it, Jenny, it literally writes the key takeaways for you. It gives you mind mapping. It
mhm,
gives you ideas that while you're
uh,
talking, it just puts your brain together, basically,
mhm,
right? And it is run by ChatGPT. You can get it for free, obviously.
yeah,
But guys, I'm not a sponsor, okay? Just want you
yeah,
to know that. I do sponsor other products, just not this one. So I'm going to give you a caveat. Um, so, but I love the product. The reason that I'm saying that is I love the product, and I have so much products in here. It's not even funny. It's because I wanted to test and see how that works. So I have so many around me. But I do want to highlight my magazine people because I want to hopefully put you in this for the 2025, Jenny. I haven't told you, but just talking and listening to you, I need to do this for you for 2025.
thank you.
This is the magazine cover. I create all my covers,
Yeah,
magazines, right?
I don't have time for that.
Yeah, so this one is actually already on. I have to put this on my website, which I haven't had a chance. It's
Yeah,
physical and online.
okay,
This one right here, his name is Leo Manawis,
yeah,
and Danielle's husband, and I wanted to highlight him because he was here a couple of weeks ago when it comes to the podcast, and
yeah,
how amazing he is that he's also suffered a lot of stroke.
yes,
And he it basically, what I'm saying is that we're so busy, right? Like either
right,
negative or living life or whatever, but when our health and God tells you stop for a minute, to
mhm,
stop,
yeah,
it brings you to the bottom of your life and said, what is important to me?
right, yeah,
Right? What is important to me? So Leo, is his family is important to him. And I wanted to also highlight Russ. I'm sure you know Russ Hedge, right?
yeah, absolutely. Probably, I was probably the fourth person or fifth person, and now this podcast for mine. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
Russ is going through cancer right now,
yes,
right?
yes,
He's
yeah,
going through his cancer therapy right now.
yeah,
And guess what? Someday he will not be here with us. But while
no,
he's still alive, can we please support him? Can we
right,
please
yeah,
celebrate him?
right,
Right? When we
mhm,
always people says, "Oh my gosh, this is gone," or whatever. This guy
yeah,
right here, Eugene Manley. Dr. Manley is doing cancer research,
mhm,
right? His PhD, he's doing cancer research. So I think Look at this smile. I mean, how cute is he?
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So these people, Jenny, I would want you to kind of maybe hook up with them and just DM them and said, hey, you know, Dr. Leland wanted me to see and see what other research. Because here's the thing: when people are doing something within the research, whether it's cancer or
Right.
something else,
Mhm.
they know doctors who does, right? And you never know about your connection on who can help you. Not necessarily 100%, but like maybe there's a research out
Yeah.
there for Lyme disease that we
Yeah.
don't know because we're not in that community, right? So I definitely want to push you in that direction and ask. Now, this one is my next question. How do you stay motivated on difficult days and what keeps you hopeful about the future?
Yeah, that's a run. Well, difficult days. Don't have a lot of those right now. It's more difficult days for me are the caregivers actually just show up late on Saturday. On Saturday, I thought we'd do group 10 on Saturday. That's live and it was live. I was already go live, right? I have my cameras that helped me go live. Wasn't ready though for that. I was ready for it, but I didn't know it was only be on YouTube. But I so say, for me, the difficult times during the week or whatever, you took the question down. Um, I'm not sure. Can you move the question back up for a second?
Sure.
You were asking me. Um, so, for example, like on Saturday, I was like, I have to get ready. I'm gonna go live. Tell the caregiver he or she had to go out of my bedroom, not bedroom, but out of my apartment. So things like that actually motivate me a lot to be active like that still. Um, I really want to be working not full time, but half time, like because I'm actually representing some companies right now, and not as much as I was. Um, so, sorry, I haven't revealed these here. Thanks, Leo or Matt. Sorry. Anyway, so anyway, I have seen a lot of doctors, just so you know, probably top of five of the top doctors in the world. Lyme disease. What they found, the doctors I've seen, is that the co-infections they found them, but it took a long time for them to actually figure out what the co-infections were. And they did, and that's when they started. Sorry, that's when they started treatment for those co-infections. Anyway, so what keeps me motivated is doing things like this. I'll start my new podcast soon, as long as my voice starts getting better. But I'm using speech therapy right now, so I have my little cup here, because that's actually helped me feel more confident. Do things like this right now.
Oh, I'm so proud. Like I know you were so excited to come in and I'm like, man, I love that for her. I love that. This is why I love what I do is because I get to see people be elevated.
Yeah.
YouTube, thank you, 1,038 people are live.
What?
Actually, what's
What?
funny is yeah, and in my YouTube right now. I'll take a picture for
Oh,
you. Um,
wow. Nice.
basically what happens is I have people all over the world, Pakistan, probably
Yeah.
Philippines, Vietnam, and some of them just DM me like, we can't do anything because we're just listening and we're driving or we're working
Yeah.
or we're on the jeepneys and things
Right.
like that. So they
Yeah.
can't really say anything. What I'm appreciative of is my sister Matt, Leo, Mike, Eamon, who's here actually just having those messages. I do want to ask all of you who's still here live that can type, how do you guys answer this? What are some of the motivational, like how do you stay motivated on those difficult days, and what keeps you hopeful about the future? Because future is not guaranteed, but we like to think about like there is tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what keeps you going, right? And Jenny, thank you for sharing that. Yes, being on live, being on podcast,
Yeah.
and getting your messages out there. And I think people often wants the guru and the specialist and all this, but often in reality we should look at for people that's living reality life, like the
Right.
real world stuff, right? Not the things that you read in the book, of theories, but real anthology life that you're living. And I'm sure people would want to know, like, okay, living in Lyme disease driven person, how do we survive? Right? Because every day is a different day, but it's also a challenging day every day. How do you keep afloat mentally, physically, emotionally, financially? Like all of these things you have to, because A, you can't get a job full time, obviously,
Mhm.
if you can't drive,
Anymore. Yeah.
right? B, you can't really record sometimes because you still need your speech back. And C,
Yes.
I'm sure you get tired and exhausted, right?
Mhm.
Quite a lot. So, like, well, how I want to know and extrapolate that essence of your perseverance and resilience, Jenny. Like, how do you keep yourself going?
I I actually was listening to my podcast that I did before for the podcast. Do you ever watch any of those, Dr. Leland?
I'll be honest with you, no. You have to send me the link.
It's all on YouTube. But actually, I have like 50 different ones I did. But I was watching them yesterday. I'm like, wow, I can actually speak. I can actually speak, and people understand me. I don't like the word normal, but it's pretty normal speech and everything. That kept me going a lot. Talking to other people, um, just yeah, just talking to other people about their lives too. My podcast is not about me; it's about kind of like you, uh, having other people tell their story. So the podcast was not about me; it was about them. It was not about me. I just I my mother
Can I
cancer.
make a suggestion? I want to make a suggestion. I think it's nice that you are considering other people,
Yeah,
but given the fact that you are living the life of adversity on a minute by minute
yeah,
basis,
mm-hmm.
not only you are inspirational, but I'm sure a lot of people would want to, like, when you I was growing up, people, I see people without legs or without hands or
Yes,
blind, and they work, right?
right.
And then me trying to get up at 5, my grandma's like, you got to sell eggs. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it, it's just too
Oh,
tiring,
yes.
right? And then my grandma's like, okay, the blind person literally is selling, what is
Yeah,
your excuse, right?
mhm,
I want
yeah,
people to say, hey, Jenny is living this life, and what is your excuse? Why are you so full of excuses? It's, for me, I want people to see that, like, not only your resilience, but there's got to be a lessons learned, the purpose
mhm,
of your
yeah,
existence. I
mhm,
I would love to see a blog on a daily, like how difficult or how easy a certain things, like even going to the bathroom or
yeah.
showering, that probably is difficult, right? I don't
But
know.
the thing is, I can't even go to the bathroom or a shower without having a caregiver. They actually have to take me there. And the stairs say it's over there. They have to take you to the bathroom with that. Take you to the stairs say the tub transfer thing. Take a shower. That they don't get do the shower for me. I can do that myself. It's more just give me in the shower. And you get there, I'm getting out there, I dry myself off, things like that, and to actually get my clothes on the toilet. Like that, it's not as easy as people think.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, you're asking all of these people, but you yourself is already inspirational. Like, I want you to mix it up, Jenny. Now I'm demanding. That's your homework. I want you,
Okay, thank
no,
you,
no, I'm serious.
teacher.
I want you to mix it up. Like, I want you to give like a vlog on a daily life. Like, hello, people. For those of you who
Right,
have everything functional, this is my life right now. I
yeah,
can't even go to the bathroom. Hello, like,
yeah,
those basic moments that people take advantage of because
mhm,
we have everything, but we're full of anger and
right,
resentment,
mhm,
rejection, and we complain about life. When the basic needs of human needs, like to going to the bathroom,
right.
is something you're having
And
difficulty, and
I
you're
got
and
UTI right now because I'm holding it for too long.
right.
I actually had to go to the urologist last week twice because I held it for like because they took half a liter of pee out of me. Like honestly, like how was that? Just what's the last time we went to the bathroom? Like mm, the other day, I waited 8 hours to go to the bathroom because so many doctor's appointments in between.
How about eating? Is that difficult for you to do, or you're good with that?
I can actually eat myself, or I can eat my food. It's just that somebody has to make it for me now. Actually, I was like not cooked, but I used to have parties all the time. And you talk about Thanksgiving or Labor Day or Memorial Day or whatever. I had parties like the pool, things like that. Now my parents have all the stuff for the pool parties, but I can't do the pool. It's kind of odd because I'd have like 100 people show up, and our concierge at the building would say, "How many people are going to come to your party this time?" Oh, like 10 or 12. Like, okay, Jenny. I was saying, it's like, there's like 100 people there. I'm like, well, everybody else invited more people too. But they bring food, they bring drinks. I bring my own food, my own drinks for people to eat. Or Easter, I had a huge Easter Bunny brunch party. I started that in LA.
So you're telling me you're a party animal. You like, guys,
I was
can't make my own food, so you got to bring it in.
yeah,
I can't do anything, so you got to lift me up. And
yeah.
hey, you need a bigger crown, Jenny. You need a bigger
I
crown.
know. Actually, this one right here, my 40, what birthday was it? My 45th birthday, I think, actually had cupcakes and these little tiaras on them and the cupcakes.
Oh man, when I turn 50, this is gonna be a full crown. I'd be like, hey.
like, hey, I'm already over for 50, but that's okay. So, yeah, it's been an interesting ride, that's for sure. But I'm not giving up. I'm not gonna give
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Sis is giving Jenny homework, a special moment. Yeah, I do give people homework. Only if I like you, though. Only if I like you. Because if I don't like you, I'm like, what's the point? If I give you homework, I gotta check it. So
You're like, you're doing it at school right now.
No,
work with you.
I'm serious. I'm serious. Like literally right now, you're in your legacy moment. You are making an impact. You're changing the world. You are making an impact, right? There's at least 62,000 subscribers in YouTube. I will try to post something in my Instagram as well. And really, hey, I need help because this and people, a lot of people do ask for help. But for me, I only give help when people help themselves.
Right.
Not like just sit here and do nothing. I need help. You have two hands, two legs, you have a mouth, you have an eyes, you got whatever cognitive thing. And Jenny here is trying her best and she doesn't have all of that functions and she's trying to lift up the world. What have you done? Right? Like that's just my thing. Like, no. But Jenny, literally, okay, we have about a couple more minutes left. I want you to tell us whatever you need help on. I want you to tell us where your podcast we can find. Please post it on this comments, actually on LinkedIn or on YouTube so we can see, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I am one thing that's going on right now. I changed the name from podcast to not podcast because people say, "What does it mean?" And I don't say it means wherever you want it. All of a sudden, people are contacting me that don't have autoimmune diseases. They don't have Lyme disease, but cancer. Tim's home came out. Tim's home came out cancer thing on my podcast. And actually, he told everybody, the whole world, they cancer on my podcast. When he's my teacher, so that's what he decided to do. All of a sudden, I was having people help me with these diabetics going to be on my podcast. All of a sudden, all these diabetics are on my podcast. So I'm like, and no, I have nothing to do with diabetes, like at all. All of a sudden, I was like the diabetes expert, kind of, sort of. So you never know, like, who's going to contact you and say, "Hey, I want to be in a podcast. Can you talk to us? Can you help us?" Actually, the guys that were on the podcast are from LA. Actually, first ones. But the first one actually passed away. It's kind of sad. I have people on my podcast that have passed away, so that's hard.
So here's what I'm envisioning you doing. Like this title that I created right now, Autoimmune Chronicles, Navigating Life with Resilience, is a good podcast title because it doesn't say Lyme disease. It basically says autoimmune disease, right? Like chronicling if you have cancer, if you have Lyme disease, if you have whatever, lupus, like my mom suffers from lupus and she can't get up. So all of these things that you can, it's open for everybody, but it has a focus,
right?
And it has a spin on inspiration, which is navigating life with resilience. Nothing and no one can stop me, even though I'm like, life is pretty much stop at this point, right? Yes. When you're going through, I would love for you. I won't do no copyright, nothing. Take this title. This would be good for your podcast, quite honestly. Yeah.
And the name of my podcast now is getting real Jenny Gold, because people are big. I don't want to talk about this on your podcast. I'm like, okay, I'm talking about everything else. All of a sudden, they start talking about. I'm like, all of a sudden they're getting real. And I was a journalism major in college, so I was like, people wanted to talk to me. They told me, I just want to talk to you. I just want to tell you this, tell you that. And I'm like, wow, okay. All of a sudden I just joke with them, say, you're like throwing up on the camera right now. everything you didn't want to talk about, they're talking about. Like, wow, okay, that your brain has to switch. But at that point, I didn't have these issues that I have right now, and that was only a couple of years ago. COVID played a really bad role in my life, but it's okay because things are getting better. I mean that all the time. I'm not walking with a walker right now because honestly, I'll tell the world this. I don't care. I went into Encompass for PT and OT. It's taken there by the hospital. They Encompass had seen me before. They said, "Oh my gosh, she walked all the time with her walker." My walker there with me. They said, "Jay, we can't teach you to walk the walker again because you came in a wheelchair and told by your insurance companies we can only make you better in a wheelchair." Not cool, is it? That's the one thing about our country is like we'd like to get back to where you were, but guess what? We can't do that anymore. We're not allowed to.
Gosh, that is awful. I'm sorry, but if I'm gonna be on a walker, it's gonna have to be blinged out walker, pink
That's what
crystal.
that's what my friends want to do. So you know what? You probably thought this. I was in cannabis industry for like 10 years. So they're like, we are totally gonna bling out your walker. It's gonna be great. I was like, okay. But we didn't do it. I didn't want to do that. I did a walker that was hot pink. Thought you like that, Dr. Leland?
Look, look, look. Okay, I'm
So,
sitting here. I'm literally ready to crystallize anything, guys. You guys?
oh my god. Do you ever sleep? I don't think you ever sleep.
Yeah, I just have good concealer. so,
I have good skincare too, but I'm not as good as yours. But it's interesting. But Shelly just said bling 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 walker.
That's right. That's right. We're gonna make one for Penny and we're gonna send it to Colorado, baby. That's what we're gonna do.
Exactly.
We're gonna put Swarovski on the top, the handle that has like phoenix, like a phoenix and a butterfly, a dragon on the other side, and just pulling that walker out. I'm like, okay, hospital, don't take me. My crown just fell. I was like, my crown just fell. Oh no. But
try to buy my GoFundMe for you, but actually probably have to put it later for you if you want me to.
I know.
Try to do that at the same time. But
yeah. So here's what we're gonna do since we are ending. I want you to tell us what you need and how we can help you.
I don't. This is the thing. I don't like to ask for help. It's hard for me, and I did my GoFundMe.
You need it. Don't worry about it. Like it's hard for everybody. I don't like to ask for help too. Yeah. But here's the thing: we are a community, Jenny, right? Yes. Just think of us as an extended family, brothers and sisters. Someday we're here, someday we're not. But at the same time, if you need immediate help, maybe I can't help you, but the people who are watching Team Replay and live could help you. So please accept our help.
Thank you. Just so you guys know, I raised $40,000, over $40,000 with my GoFundMe, but it's not. I've already gone through that. But the doctors with and it's been about things I've been trying. So one thing I don't need necessarily is I feel bad saying this. I don't need more people saying, "Oh, this I heard about." I think it was now I can't think of it. Stevia kills Lyme disease. I'm like, this is not cure Lyme disease. Doctor said somebody said that and it went viral. It said, do that. So people ask you, tell me all the time that, wow, it tastes a whole bunch of stevia, you get better. I'm like, no, that went around for like a week. I'm like, thank you, but no, thank you. My doctor's like, that does not do that. So see, there's great ideas, but I feel like my brain goes like, and my brain goes in all these different directions. So I appreciate everybody's help when it comes to other ideas. By the way, I've seen like the 5 top doctors in the country. I've seen them. I've flown across the country to see them. Right now, it's not easy for me to fly around right now. So I wish it was. Is that when it comes to San Diego to see you?
But yes, please. Yes, please. I will move things around. Guys, for those of you who are complaining about my calendar, I am sorry. It is open now in May. I am booked all the way till May. But I will try to get back to you as much as I can. If you miss your appointment with me on those Mondays, you're going to have to wait 5 to 6 months now. I don't know what's happening, but that's what's happening. Okay. But if you are in house and business community with Mike Asherbanner and myself, You can come into my calendar on Tuesdays, and that is a shorter line. If you are in our book club or if you are in our books, you get access pretty much almost all the time, because I put my time where it's needed, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that's all I wanted to say. Well, Jenny, thank you so much for being here.
I mean,
Ewan actually is in Cairo, Egypt. She's here from Cairo, Egypt. So thank you so much. And Matt is in Texas. And I don't know who Shelly Cohen is, but I'm loving that bling bling walker. I'm loving it.
Right. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Like I said, I'm not using the walker right now. It's in my bedroom, but I'd like to use it. And my PT people are trying to help me with that. So that's kind of my story. I have a whole list of things I was going to talk to you guys about. I'm sorry. It's kind of in my scroll thing. I have a lot of scrolls.
No worries. No worries.
And my squirrels actually come to my window every day. Like, I really have squirrels. So I know you don't. I'm like, I'm right there.
So this is my takeaway message, guys. We're learning ignites passion, and passion fuels greatness. Keep your passion together. Forget the naysayers. If you're already going through all your own adversity, don't worry about all the negative people. Just return it to sender, right? Well, Jenny, thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you. I'm sure you need a nap after this, so I love you.
Time for that. You know,
right?
I always say, don't have time for that right now. And the thing is, I really don't have time for it, but I like it, but I'd rather stay up. I don't sleep all day or anything like that, just at night. So thank you, though. I appreciate you guys.
No. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you so much. See ya.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Are you a curious student, eager to learn new skills and make your mark in the world? Or are you a professional seeking to advance your career and unlock your full potential? You need to be equipped with effective soft skills like communication, problem solving, teamwork, and more. The Level Up Academy by Doc Leland bridges the gap between education and employment through transferable skills training. Get the soft skills you need to be more effective at work.